God, I bet he would say what he said to the disciples. Neither had this man sinned nor his parents, but the works of God shall be made manifest. Amen. Meaning that it wasn't your fault that because most, and as our youth leaders can attest, is that most people that attend, I know our teenage group have a single parent, and that's something that we all observe, as well as me. I have a single parent, which is the opposite. Usually it's the mother, but I have a father. So most have mothers, so mine is kind of flip-flop, but anyways. It shows that it was not your parents' fault that you were here, and it wasn't your parents' fault for what is going to happen, what has happened to you, but it was just the fault, the point of the matter is that God wanted to show you something, saying that no matter what this happened, no matter what that happened, but it was just so I can show myself in you.
All right.
Amen.
That's it.
Now, it says, and I'm going to read this, and you may question, well, how is that? Let me tell you. Let's use Toya, because they always want to blast me, so I'm going to get it. Okay. Let's use Toya as an example. She wasn't such a good student. Well, she was a good student, but if we could say she was our typical trouble child, our preacher's kid. She told me about all the things and all the girls that she used to have problems with, because she was a thing, I guess. And they would hate on her, and she would get in fights, arguments, and we all know Toya, how she got a smart mouth sometimes.
No such thing.
But this is where it switches up on you. Toya had a baby. I believe it was Aaron or not. Which one was it? It was Naya that she had difficulties with and producing that baby. And I bet all these girls that she had used to beef with or whatever were hoping for the worst. But can we just say God turned it and she had a beautiful, healthy daughter, owns her own business, and of course, married the pastor of this great church.
Amen. Yeah.
Now this is where the message begins to tie up. We as youth have crushed ourselves so much. What has happened and what is going to happen, we are losing our power to affect lives because we want to jump first to our age and say, God, I'm not qualified. I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough wisdom. And I just can't change anybody's life. God, I'm hurting myself. Right now, we just down ourselves.
Amen.
But there was a lady in the Bible. She had an issue of blood for many years. And she just said, Lord, if I could only just touch the hem of your garment. She stopped focusing on what was her situation, but she started focusing on what she could do. She stopped thinking I've had all these years, Lord, and I've been looking and searching, trying to find a healing for this issue of blood, but I couldn't find it. In 7 years, I believe, of my life was lost just about the humility that I had to go through. Jesus just walking on the street and people just seeing me like this. Jesus, but she stopped that second and just stop thinking of what has happened to her and what is going to happen, but out of the midst of God standing in the middle of all these people, she attempted to go through the crowd, and she went through the crowd and she just touched the hem and she was healed.
Amen.
Now, again, it wasn't that it was her fault that she was born like this. It wasn't anyone's fault, but it was just Jesus' plan.
Yeah.
Jesus' plan. That's it.
And William Murphy, he said something about teenage parents. He said, it wasn't your fault that you had a baby. Well, it was, but it wasn't really your fault because the devil can't give life. So your life wasn't given by the devil. You may be facing hell. You may be going through things because I know at this age you are told that your parents, that I'm the boss, whatever you say really don't matter, whatever. So I know how that works out. My dad wasn't really like that, but I govern myself sometimes. I know what to say and what not to say, though. Anyways, and as we say, Lord, I go to Bible study. I help Miss Dominique when it's Youth Sunday. I do all this stuff. And still, I'm on crutches, and I'm only 15 or 14 years old. I can only imagine what I'm going to be like when I'm 20. Yeah, I've been raped, I've been molested. Yes, my parents walked out on me. Yes, I've been homeless. Yes, whatever. But Lord, I'm already like this at a young age, and I know I'm suffering right now, and I'm still on crutches. This is what is stopping me from preaching the word to other people and what's showing you manifest in me, because the truth of the matter is, Lord, I'm still hurting myself. I'm not able to produce to a generation something that you want. But Lord, I'm simply searching for myself a way out.
Yeah.
And I still have this disability. But God's still sitting there. God sits like, huh? But God is sitting there saying, trust me and know that I am God.
That's it.
Be like Peter and step out of the boat. Step out of your sadness. Step out of your fear. Step out of your past. And step out of your comfort zone and just walk on the water.
All right.
One of my last things I just want you to think about to yourself and say, I'm really being the youth that magnifies your or spreads your words to my friend, family, or am I just like everyone else?
Yeah.
Am I like Peter? Did I step out when I first became a Christian? When I first said, God, I want to give my life to you. I first stepped out on the water. But Jesus, something came that just disturbed me and I began to sink. And God said, when this happened to Peter, he said, why did you doubt? Simply saying, God is telling you as a youth, don't doubt, because what happened to you has happened because it was in my plan and it was in my will.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that you can do to stop it. There's nothing you can do to wish it change or whatsoever. And I know you don't see yourself walking on the water, but the truth of the matter is, you're soon going to have to step out of the boat and step out of your comfort zone and step out of your situation and step out of your problems and just say, Lord, I've been dealing with this ever since birth.
All right.
My father left me ever since birth. I was raped when I was 2, but whatever. But Lord, I just have to step out of that spot and I have to just recognize that it was in your will, it was in your plan, because eventually somebody else is going to be going through the same thing that I went through. But if that never happened to me, Jesus, no matter, I don't know how could I have ministered to that person? How could I have spoken to that person? How could I have encouraged that person? Jesus, because now that you have allowed that to happen, now I'm a living testimony to someone else. Maybe I'm the cause to help someone that's like Nick go through their life without killing themselves. Maybe I'm the cause to stop my friend from getting in a car while he's drinking and killing himself. Maybe I'm that cause. Maybe, Lord, I'm just stepping out on water and I'm going to walk, Jesus, and I'm just going to give my whole to you, my situation and my problem, Jesus, because as a youth, you are very limited and very crushed. I am very limited and very, but I just say kind of what I want to sometimes. But, how that works. Anyways, you have to think of as David and Goliath. We all know that as a youth. That David, everyone was the complete opposite of Goliath, I guess. No one was as big as him. No one was as strong as him. But David stepped out of the water on Goliath. And I know everyone else was scared. You may be scared. But you have to do some David stuff. And you have to step out on faith and say that, Lord, this thing that I'm facing may be big, it may be stronger than me, but Lord, I trust that I'm stronger, Jesus.
Amen.
And I've tackled every other situation. I know I can tackle this obstacle, Jesus, and I'm just going to step out on faith. I'm going to give you the whole thing, Jesus. And I'm just going to show what others have wanted me to fail. I'm going to pass, Jesus.
Yes.
I know that you're able, and I know that you're still strong, and I know that you are still mighty.
That's it.
And I know that sometimes, and I'm going to close my book so y'all know that I'm finished. Anyways, sometimes, I know everyone called me an old man since I was a little kid. I always heard this ever since I was a little kid. I hate it, but I always heard it. They're like, you're a little old man. I can always hear old people say they were not old people. I call people that are over 35 old. But anyways, when they would always say that I lived your age or whatsoever, but you never lived mine. And then you can say, yeah, that's true. You've been my age and I've never been yours, but you've never been my age in my generation.
That's right.
That's it.
So what you were facing, they faced a lot of poverty, and we was riding in the car yesterday. He said, we were on the south side of town, and he was like, see all these cars? Well, we used to ride bikes to the mall from here. Anyways, they put it down, but you have to adjust, and you have to know that, I may never live your age, you may have some wisdom, but too am I wise as well as
That's
you.
right.
And they used to have lots of poverty, and I know they would do things that a quarter or whatsoever would buy them some bread, but it was hard getting that quarter. But now you have people that are actually living the same thing that you were living, and it's twice as hard because you only had to raise a quarter. They have to raise $3 or something just to get some bread. So you have to know that, these people may have lived your age, and You've never lived theirs, but trust me, you are living in a world that has made you advance and made you have to get things on your own, and it is a lot harder than what you think it is. And,
Amen.
I mean, yeah, that's just basically all I have to say, and I'll let you all know. But just know that today.